Hello students, welcome to Power Tutorials. So today we are going to start section B MCQs, that is chemistry MCQs of science sample paper solution. Okay, so just give me 2 minutes. I will just check whether audio, video, everything is fine. Okay. So let's start with the video. Hope you are able to hear. So let's start with the video. Okay. So if you're coming new to this video, I have already covered biology MCQs yesterday, that is from section B questions. Section A MCQ questions have been solved yesterday in the live sessions. If you want that video, you can also check my live sections in my YouTube channel. There you will find that video. Okay, so now we are going to cover MCQs of section B, which is of chemistry. So this is an like new format, I can say, with respect to our previous year chapters. So in the previous year exam papers, what is there is they used to have total 18 MCQs, 2 assessment division, and then 2 marks, 3 marks, and 4 marks. But now it is the paper is different. So you have 3 sections. Section A, B, C. Section A is completely of biology. We have MCQs, assessment divisions, 2 marks, 3 marks, and 4 marks. Whereas section B will start with chemistry questions. Again, same way MCQs and on. And section C we have physics, but in physics the MCQs are less, whereas 2 marks and 3 marks kind of questions are more. Okay, but it's not mandatory that it has to be this way. Maybe in your exam paper it might change, like less MCQs of biology and more of theoretical, or less MCQs of chemistry and more of theoretical, and less MCQs of physics can also be possible. But they want to give you a sample that you have 3 sections and all questions are divided separately. Okay, now let's start with the MCQ questions. Of chemistry. So I will not only discuss about the solutions as I had seen in the previous videos, I also discuss the content behind it, so that if similar type of question is coming, then we should be confidently able to solve the type of question. Okay, let's see the first one. Which of the following represents redox reactions, and what are the values of P and Q in these reactions? So first understand what is redox. So redox is a type 5 type of chemical reactions, that is from chapter 1. So what is redox means? It's a combination of both reduction and oxidation. Okay, so what is oxidation reduction? Let's take a brief understanding. So oxidation is addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen. If this happens for a metal, then we call it as oxidation. What about reduction reaction? Reduction is just opposite of the previous case, that is removal of oxygen or addition of hydrogen. If any of these two or any of these two happens, it belongs to oxidation and reduction. So what is redox? If in a reaction, if both happens, oxidation and reduction, then that combination is called as redox reaction. Okay, so this type of question might come in there. For 2 marks, they can ask you explain redox reaction and give an example. Then you have to say that redox reaction is a combination of both oxidation and reduction. Oxidation is addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen, and reduction is addition of hydrogen or removal of oxygen. Okay, let's see whether this is a redox reaction or not. So here you can see Fe2O3, which is iron oxide or ferric oxide, is giving rise to ferrous. So what is happening here? It is removal of oxygen because it is losing oxygen. What about this one? Aluminum is gaining oxygen. So this is oxidation and this is reduction. So combination is redox reaction. Okay, what about second one? Butane is giving rise to carbon dioxide. So here you can see it is gaining oxygen. If it is gaining oxygen, I told you it is oxidation, and here it is, if you notice, there is an addition of hydrogen. So if addition of hydrogen, I told you what is addition of hydrogen? It is reduction. Hence, this is reduction reaction. Okay, I'll write in detail here. Fe2O3 plus 2Al gives rise to Al2O3 plus Fe plus heat, and just represent as Q, which is form of energy. Okay. Now here what I am saying, it is an addition of reduction of oxygen, so it is R, redox reaction. Here it is gain of oxygen, so it is oxidation. Okay. Same way below also I told you this is reduction and this is oxidation. Okay. I'll write that reaction in the second slide, but let's find out with options. I told you don't think about each option, just try to eliminate few options so that it will be easier to solve this question faster. Okay. So only one is redox, so this is wrong. Only 2 is redox, this is wrong. So we have only two options, either 1 and B or D. 1 and 2 are redox reactions, as both are redox reactions. P is 2. So if you understand, both are having P is 2. So no need to find the P value. It is already 2. Okay, what about the next one? We need to just find the Q value. So if you notice here, how many hydrogens are present? 2 into 10, which is 20. What about how many hydrogens are here? Only 2. So if you keep 10 here, you will get 20. So hence D is the right answer. Okay, so just always make sure to reduce your options to solve any question first. Let's see the next one, 18th question. 4 statements about the reactions of oxides with dilute hydrochloric acid and aqueous sodium hydroxide are listed. So we need to understand for, okay, I'll prepare a new slide first and then I'll explain what is metal oxides and non-metal oxides, how they react with acids and bases. So all the metal oxides are generally basic in nature. As they're basic in nature, they react with acids. And they will not react with base. What about non-metal oxides? Like CO2. Example CO2. And metal oxides, I can see aluminum oxide, which is, okay, aluminum is amphoteric. I will explain aluminum later. I can take the example of iron oxide, which is Fe2O3. Okay, so all the metal oxides are basic in nature, they react with acids. What about non-metal oxides? These are acidic in nature. And they react with bases. So what about amphoteric? So if you remember, in your previous classes we have studied about amphibians. So what is amphibians? Which present on both water and water and land. Same way, wherever you find amph kind of word, it's a representative. It can have two properties. Okay, so here the amphoteric is, and this is very important for either 1 mark or 2 marks. This will come for damn sure in your board exam. In this sample paper, they have provided for 1 mark question. Okay. So what are amphoteric oxides? Amphoteric oxides are the metal oxides which reacts with both acids and bases. Okay, so the only two amphoteric oxides we have, which are aluminum oxide and zinc oxide. These two are the metal oxides which reacts with both acids and bases. Okay, now we'll see those reactions as well. What happens if aluminum oxide reacts with acid and base, and same way for zinc oxide as well. Okay, all right, here if aluminum oxide plus HCl gives rise to aluminum chloride plus what? Okay, or the same way if aluminum oxide reacts with NaOH, which is a strong base, it forms sodium aluminate. Okay, same way for zinc oxide, ZnO plus HCl gives rise to ZnCl2 plus what? So let's balance this, 2 hydrogens to 2 HCl. Okay, same way for zinc oxide with NaOH and water, it forms sodium zincate, which is Na2ZnOH4, 4 hydrogens, so 2 we already have, 2 Na, that's it. Okay, so aluminum oxide reacts with acid. Yeah, hi Archana, thanks for joining. So in this video I am explaining about how the MCQ solutions of section B, which is of chemistry of science sample paper. Okay, so now I have explained about amphoteric oxide. This is very important topic because for sure this type of question will ask. They can ask you what, give me the examples of amphoteric oxides, give me the reactions of aluminum oxide with HCl, give me the reaction of aluminum oxide with base. Same way they can also ask you for zinc oxides. Okay, so if they ask you any question related to amphoteric, you should be able to solve this. Okay, now let's go to the question again. So here if you notice, aluminum oxides reacts with both dilute hydrochloric acid and aqueous solution sodium hydroxide. Yes, this is correct. Calcium oxide reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid and aqueous solution. No, calcium oxide is a metal oxide. It reacts only with acid, not with base. Okay, zinc oxide, yes, it is an amphoteric oxide. It reacts with both dilute hydrochloric acid and aqueous solution of sodium hydroxide. Sulfur dioxide is a non-metal oxide. So non-metal oxide will not react with acid, it only reacts with base. But here it's saying does not react with either or something. So this is also wrong because sulfur dioxide reacts with bases. They will not react with acids. Okay, because it is a non-metal oxide. So the options are 1 and 3, which is B. Okay, now let's move to the next one. 19th question. An iron is added to each of the test tubes P and Q containing aqueous copper sulfate and aqueous silver nitrate respectively. Which of the following observations are correct? So to understand this question, first we need to remember reactivity series of few important metals. So I'll explain that part first and then we'll go to the question. So for that we need to remember one type of simple trick to remember. I will use the same. Please stop calling me a careless zebra. Instead, try learning how copper saves gold. So this is the type of line which it is better to remember. So how to remember? P phosphorus, S sulfur, calling calcium, M magnesium, which is Mg, careless here is carbon, calcium, so that's for Ca. Okay, next is zebra, which is zinc, instead iron, tri, tin, iron symbol is not I, it is F. And then learning is lead, Pb, H is hydrogen, copper, CO, saves silver, which is Ag, gold is Rm, which is Au. So this is the reactivity. So that the higher you go, the higher is the reactivity series. Okay, this starts from 1 and this is the ending. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So these 14 reactor series metals you have to remember. The higher you go, the higher is the reactivity. Okay. So for this question, iron nail is mentioned. So what about iron, where it is present? Iron is present at this point, which is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is iron metal. So here they are saying about copper and silver. These two are below it. Okay, so definitely this iron will displace the other two metals because this reactivity is higher. So now we're talking about the displacement reaction. So what is displacement reaction? If a solution is reactive with a metal which is of higher reactivity, what will happen? This high metal will take the place of the solution and the other metal will left out. So this we're talking about displacement reaction. So you may be wondering why this much time is taking for MCQ solutions, because my concept is not only to cover the sample paper solutions, my agenda is to cover the topics which are there in sample paper solutions. So if any question related to this topic, you should be able to solve it. Okay. So what is displacement reaction? So simply as saying high reactivity metal displaces or replaces low reactivity metal from solution. From its solution. Okay, if you notice here, iron is a high reactivity metal. In tube P, iron nail is coated with blue coating, and test tube Q, there is no reaction. This is wrong. In both the things, the reaction will happen. Iron nail is coated with brown coating test tube and silver coating test tube. Yes, this is correct. There is no reaction. Wrong. There is no reaction. Wrong. No need to think about the reading the other step, because in both the reactions, reaction happens. Copper is brown in color, so that brown color now will attach to this nail, and silver is white in color, so that silver coating will come into this nail. Okay, so with respect to reaction, what will happen? If it will be something like this, we have a beaker, we have copper sulfate or iron silver nitrate in this bowl, and now we are keeping an iron nail. So what will happen after some time? The copper from this solution will come and drop on this nail, and this iron content which is present will come in and dissolve in the solution. Okay. Let's move to the next one. So this question we have covered what is displacement reaction, and also covered what is the reactivity series as well. So any questions related to these two topics, you should be able to solve it. Let's move to 20th. Methyl orange is added to dilute hydrochloric acid to the aqueous solution and to the aqueous sodium hydroxide. So what is hydrochloric acid? Hydrochloric acid is HCl, which is strongly acid. Aqueous solution of sodium hydroxide is strong base, which is NaOH. So this pH is around 14 and this pH is around 1. What is color of methyl orange? So first we had to understand, we have total 3 types of indicators mainly, which are phenolphthalein, we have phenolphthalein indicator and methyl orange indicator, which are color, and then we have litmus, blue litmus and red litmus. Blue litmus changes to red in acid, red litmus changes to blue in base. What about phenolphthalein? With respect to acid, it will be colorless. Acid, it will be colorless, and base, it will be pink. Methyl orange, with respect to acid it will be red, and base it will be yellow. Litmus, red litmus it turns to red, blue litmus will turn to red in terms of acid, and red litmus will turn to blue in terms of base. So all these three you have to remember. Not only methyl orange, they can ask you phenolphthalein, or they can ask you litmus, or they can ask you methyl. Anything can be asked. In this question they are asking about methyl orange, so the answer is in terms of acid red and base is yellow, so answer should be B. Okay, let's move to the next one. 21st question. Which of the following substances when dissolved in equal volume of water will have the highest pH value? So for this you need to remember the pH scale. So it starts from 1 and ends with 14. Middle is neutral, which is 7. So if you turned about, this will be the strong acid and this will be the strong base. So if you go to the right side, acidity or acidic nature decreases, and if you move to the left side, basic nature decreases. Or else simply if you turn to the left side, acidic nature increases. If you turn to the right side, basic nature increases. So which of the following dissolved in equal volume will have the highest pH? Highest pH I told you the strong acid. Sorry, highest pH, this is 1. Highest is 14. Strong base is the highest pH, which is sodium hydroxide. Magnesium hydroxide will come around 12 or 11. Acetic acid will come around 3 to 3.4 or 5. Sulfuric acid is the lowest pH because this is a strong acid. I'll write it here. This is strong acid. Acetic acid is weak acid. Magnesium hydroxide I cannot say weak, but it is between 10 to 11. So yeah, somewhere when compared to here I can say it is weak base. Sodium hydroxide is a strong base. Hence the pH value will be higher for strong base. Next move to 22nd. When excess of carbon dioxide is passed through lime water, the milkiness disappears. Why? So for this we need to understand the reaction. If carbon dioxide is reacted with lime water, which is CaOH twice, it forms CaCO3 plus water, which is insoluble in water, and it is milky. So this way you call the terms lime water to milky, and this is used for whitewashing in your homes. Okay, and what happens if again reacted, the carbon dioxide is again reacted with CaCO3 plus water, what will happen? It forms calcium bicarbonate, which is CaHCO3. Okay, so this is soluble in water, whereas this is insoluble in water. So in this reaction, water soluble calcium, no, insoluble calcium carbonate converted to soluble calcium carbonate. Yes, this is correct. Okay, so this question is important. They can ask you, give me the reaction which converts carbon dioxide to milky, then this is the one. And if they ask you which again converts to soluble calcium bicarbonate, then this is the reaction. Okay, but in question this is MCQ, so taking a B option will, writing the B option itself is enough. But this same question can be asked for 2 marks. They can ask you to give me the reaction for this, then you have to write these 2 reactions. Okay, next move to 23rd. In the reaction of aqueous solution of barium chloride with aqueous solution of sodium sulfate, the aqueous solution formed is. Okay, so this is very important reaction, because this why I say important, because the same question is getting repeated in multiple board exam papers. Okay, this is the best example for precipitate reaction. They can ask you in question, give me an example of precipitate reaction, then this is the right example. Okay, so for this, aqueous solution of barium chloride, which is BaCl2 plus aqueous solution of sodium hydroxide, which is sodium sulfate, which is Na2SO4. What will happen means these two will form, which are BaSO4. BaSO4 is a precipitate or solid. Okay, plus 2NaCl. 2NaCl is again aqueous. So in this question, what they are asking precipitate or aqueous. They are asking aqueous solution, so which is NaCl. But if they ask you give me precipitate, then BaSO4 is also the right answer. Precipitate is BaSO4, aqueous is NaCl. They are asking about aqueous, so it is NaCl. With the same question, they can also ask you give me the precipitate form, then you have to say it is BaSO4. Okay, whereas BaCl2 and Na2SO4 are the reactants, they are not products. Okay, left side are called reactants and right side are the products. Okay, let's move to the last question from this chemistry MCQs. And this is a assess and reason question. So for assess and reason question, the options will be such that the first one is both are true and the right explanation. B is both are true but not the right explanation. C is A is true, R is false, and D is A is false and R is true. Let's see which is first, whether both are true or not. C4H8, C4H6, C4H10 are members of same homologous series. The answer is false because that does not belong to the same homologous series. Okay, because this is alkene property, this is alkyne property, and this is alkane property. Okay, so let's understand what is alkene, alkyne and alkane configurations. Alkene is CnH2n, alkyne is CnH2n minus 2, and alkane is CnH2n plus 2. Okay, for example here it is C4H8, it is C4H6, and here it is C4H10. Okay, here it will having double bond, in alkyne will having triple bond, and in alkane will have only single bond. Okay, these two are unsaturated, whereas this is saturated. So if you notice C4H8, C4H6, C3H4, C3H6, C2H4, C2H2, all are unsaturated because these all belongs to alkene and alkyne groups, hence R is true. I told you the options, A is false, R is true is D. Okay, and repeating this question again, so because same type can be coming for 2 marks or 3 marks, they can ask you give me the example for alkene, then just write this configuration and just write numbers from 1 to 4 for example. Alkyne CnH2n minus 2, alkane CnH2n plus 2. These two are unsaturated, less stable when compared to this one which are saturated. Okay, this belongs to the 4th chapter, which is carbon and its compounds. Okay, so in this way all the questions related to chemistry MCQs, that is of section B, are been solved. So thanks for watching, and if you are watching till this end, and I hope this video might be helpful for you or you added some information for you. So if that's the case, please like the video and do subscribe so that it can reach you for other people who might in need for such videos. Okay, and in the next video, mostly tomorrow, you will get the video. We'll have another live session and we'll cover from section C, which is of physics. There the MCQ questions are less, so what I will try is I will try MCQs as well as few numericals, or else I will try to cover at least electricity chapter numericals. Okay, because from electricity chapter at least 4 to 6 marks will be coming for sure. Okay, we'll try to cover that topic tomorrow and we'll try to have it around same 1 or 1:30 p.m. Okay, so thanks for watching till then. Let's meet again tomorrow for the live session for section C, that is physics MCQs as well as electricity numericals. Thank you.